Welcome back, friends. And if this is your first time here, my name is Jasmine and I watch a shit ton of TV. And of course, one of the shows that I'm watching right now is Big Brother. We're on season 27. And I was like, I don't want to just recap Big Brother by myself. I want to talk to super fans. I want to talk to friends that I have that watch the show. And I thought of this person immediately. We used to work together when I was an executive producer at Sony, and her name is Sunny. And I always will call her Sony. But Sunny was a producer on my team, one of the greatest producers, just people in general that I've ever worked with. And she is a Big Brother super fan. So I was like, my first Big Brother recap has to be with my girl Sunny. So I'm going to bring her on and we're going to recap the first couple of episodes of Big Brother 27. Hello, Sunny.
You had me blushing backstage. I could see myself in the corner. I was like, stop it. Jasmine, you're the greatest producer I've ever worked with. You're fantastic.
Thank you. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. But yes, girl, of course, like I said, I thought of you immediately when I said I wanted to recap Big Brother 27. And how have you been feeling so far about this season?
You know what? I feel like almost like a relationship. From the first date, you can kind of tell if it's going to be good or if it's going to be bad. Last season, RIP to last season, first episode, I was like, this one's a dud. And yep. I watched the whole thing, When they showed these people for this season, this cast, I was like, oh, we can go out on a couple of dates. This could be a long-term relationship. I really think that they have somebody new in their casting department. Whoever was like putting these people together, it's like a beautiful jigsaw puzzle of weirdness. I think they play really well. So I'm very excited for the season. I think it has a lot of potential.
Same. Last season I wasn't super into it, and I didn't even finish last season because I just like completely fell off. But I watched the first, like the premiere episode, and I was like, wait, something feels so good about this cast, about these people. I don't know, even just like the theme, like the hotel theme is so good. I love that. I want to get your first impressions. I'm gonna show the cast, and then I want you to tell me, like, did anybody jump out to you like right away when you saw the cast?
I think, and this sounds so mean, I feel like it's first judgments. When Kelly came on and she was like, I'm from a town of 50 people, I was like, oh no. And honestly, I feel like my hypothesis was checked out. I was like, normally the small town people, like, they come in not with lesser social skills. She was like, I feel like she was paranoid right off the bat. Like, they're normally the first crier. So I definitely was worried for my girl, Kelly. I'm not wearing them now, but a fellow glasses wearer, I could tell she probably has astigmatism too. I was rooting. I'm like, I want you to be chill.
Right. Team astigmatism.
Team astigmatism. So I support her. I'm happy that, can we do spoilers about this like last Sunday?
Yeah. Oh, I should have said that. We are talking about every episode from the premiere through Sunday's episode, which was episode 5. So yes.
So yeah, like, as you guys know, happy that she's still with us today. Keanu, immediately I liked. I think I've told you before, I'm a Dungeons and Dragons girl. When he's like, I'm a dungeon master, I was like, okay, and he's cute, and I was like, yeah. Sure. So I was like, all right, I'll see what's going on with him. He has been, I feel, one of the most entertaining characters so far. Whenever he comes onto the screen, I know I'm either going to giggle or cringe or something. He's going to elicit some sort of emotional reaction from me. Big fan of Keanu. I'm just going to go like kind of down the line. Catherine, I'm waiting for her to dazzle me. I don't know Catherine, but that's always at the beginning. Like, they have those few people that don't get a lot of like screen time. So Catherine's going to have her time to shine. Ava's a fellow Long Islander. I don't know how I feel about that. I was talking about this I am from a family of super fans. My parents have watched it since the first season. So I was raised in a Big Brother household.
Yes.
And we always say the same thing. Whenever they get Long Island, especially Long Island girls, like, we're always mystical. We're always like seeing into the future, or like, which is crazy because I love tarot and stuff. I'm like, is there something in the water here?
Yeah, no, seriously, because I feel like if you went on Big Brother, like, based on what I know about you,
I
don't think you would be like, Ava is a little out there in a good way. I'm not like shitting on her at all. Like, I think she's very entertaining, but I totally feel like you would also be like kind of a woo woo, like
1000%.
Yeah, but like on the cool side that like everybody would want, like, Sunny, like, talk to me about my big 3. Like, that's how they would approach you.
I think for the first day they'd love it. By week 3, they might be like, we should get her out of here. When they start being like, he's very rude, his Venus is in Cancer, and that makes sense. They'd be like, okay, we have to evict her. But I do like Ava. I feel like she surprised me in the sense that she's pretty down to earth for somebody who's like woo woo. She seems to be a voice of reason a lot of times. And so I love it when, like, right off the bat, you can see that people have multiple layers to their personality.
Yeah.
Amy, our little saboteur, I always mispronounce it. I want to say Hotel Mystery, but I know it's like Hotel Mister.
Yeah. It's a weird. That's why I didn't say it at the beginning, because I was like, I don't want to sound like a dumbass and say it the wrong way.
I'll sound like a dumbass. Hotel Monsieur, Hotel Mystique. It is weird.
Mystique. Let's go with that. That sounds cooler anyway.
Hotel Mystique. But I can't tell if I think I like Amy. I want to like her because I want to root for the person who's like, kind of like the underdog. I feel like whenever they pick like a secretive person, they tend to make them, well, we're both producers. We know we want somebody who's entertaining to watch. We want somebody who, might stir up some drama. But I feel like she talks a big talk, and I don't know if she's actually going to do it. We'll find out. We'll give her some time.
I don't know. So the thing with Amy, I like the twist of having her like in the house and how she had to play the game initially. Yeah. I'm a little worried about her kind of hitching her wagon to Rachel, like right off the bat. I mean, I think, but if I'm being honest, right, like they do seem similar. Like it seems like an alliance that makes sense, but I didn't watch Rachel's season, so I'm only going off of like what I've heard about her. And it seems like Rachel could be trouble for Amy at some point if she's not careful. What do you think?
Rachel is one of the best players in Big Brother history, and I mean that sincerely. She is good. She's good because she knows when it's the right time to cause a scene. Yeah. And because she's done it correctly so many times, this season, she's kind of going in resting on her laurels. Like, everybody's afraid of her. And rightly so. Like, I would be afraid to play the game with Rachel Riley. She's cut through. She does have a good sense of loyalty about her, though. I think she is somebody that if you get her at the beginning, she'll want to keep you close. She'll view you as a good ally. She won't stab you in the back. But this is her third time playing the game. She knows when she needs to cut her losses. I think that's where people get messed up when they play it the first time.
Gotcha.
They're so emotionally entwined. They don't know when it's time to. And I think if Amy becomes a problem for her, though I'm sure she wants to take her to the end, she'll cut her off. She'll be like, you've become crazy. And I'm already crazy, so you got to get out of here.
Right. There can't be two of us. Yeah. What do you think about Jimmy so far? What was your first impression of Jimmy? He stood out to me. I'll say he was like one of the ones that I was like, oh, I'm going to love him.
I completely agree. I thought I was going to adore Jimmy. I thought he was going to be like very like strategic. Like he was going to be kind of like going on the outside, looking in, being like, oh, I can tell like who's partnering up. I was wrong. He's a very emotional player. Yeah. He's kind of a loose cannon. I think that this HOH is going to be a shit show, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be like Hasim. Remember he was like,
oh, yeah.
HOH, and then he kind of like he was voted out like the next week because he just let it go to his head. I think that's Jimmy's fate.
I think what was that? Not this season, not last season, but the season before that. And he was the doctor, and I was like, oh my God, I love him. He's about to like mess up this game, and he did mess up the game, and then his own game, and then he got kicked out because he went
exactly. Yeah. I want to talk more about Jimmy, but I want to just like finish our first impression. Yes. I want to talk. Ashley, have you ever watched The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Yes. Oh my God.
He reminds me of Hillary Banks. Like, down.
She does.
I was like, she's so Hillary Banks coded, even down to like the entitlement of it all. And I'm like, as an entitled girly myself, okay, I'm very self-aware. I was like, I'm vibing with the idea that like this guy Vince told you, hey, I will talk to you soon, and you kept interrupting him. But then it was like it was a little too much. And I'm like, okay, girl, in the first week of Big Brother, people are looking for any reason to put you on the block. Stop making yourself a target. What are your thoughts on that?
I have two main thoughts on Ashley. One, I completely agree with you. It's the first week. You want to be neutral as possible. A 2-hour shower is crazy work because especially in a space where everybody is sharing it. Like it's just something that's going to make you stand out. I think she's.
But did you see Julie confirmed the shower was not 2 hours? She spent 30 minutes. Yeah, so she spent 30 minutes in the shower, and this is from Julie herself. Yeah. She spent 30 minutes in the shower, and then the rest of the time she was just up there talking to Vince. So the house just like knew she was gone for a long time, and so they took the like 2-hour shower story and ran with it. But she only spent 30 minutes in the shower, and the rest of the time she was up there talking to Vince.
What upsets me about Vince is that he kind of corroborated it. He was like, well, it seems like he's like, yeah, that did take a while, and I'm like, yeah. And this was supposed to be because they had that kind of like original alliance at the beginning, which definitely has not. I think that's over.
Oh, that's dead. He said, I feel like such a fool. And she's like, you are.
You are. Yeah. The other thing about Ashley that sticks out to me, once again, I'm a vain person. I'm a Libra woman. Mm-hmm. I am judging everybody's outfits. Everything that Ashley is wearing, I'm like, I'd wear that. I'm like, he looks great.
Same. And listen, Sunny, I'm not like super into the zodiac stuff, but I also am a Libra woman. And what I can agree on, we are very vain people. And that was the other thing I clocked about her. I was like, not only are the outfits tea, the body is also tea.
I know.
Hair is tea. Like, she looks good. And I'm always going to root for a girl that comes on TV looking her best.
I completely, and that's like, maybe that's a fault of ours.
Yeah.
Because like, I'll keep rooting for Ashley, even when she does crazy things. Yeah. Because I'm like, as you should. I'm like, it's your right to do that. Speaking of gorgeous women, we have a nice little line of them. Well, we were talking about Kelly a little bit, but now we're Lauren, Mickey, and Morgan.
Yes. Oh my God. A trifecta, if you will. Because I was going to bring Lauren up too. Beautiful. Like, Lauren looks like she should be on The Bachelor. Like, she looks like a contestant from The Bachelor.
She does. She has a nice, like, I think that's like the kind of the trope that they pick, like that kind of like Southern, like sweet girl. I'm a bridal consultant, all about love. I don't know what Lauren has in store. I hope she's a Tasmanian devil secretly. I just want her to like, because I can tell like Zach's kind of feeling her. I want her. I'm like, use that man, Lauren. This is a great season for an all-girls alliance because all the girls, minus Kelly for some reason.
Yeah, so weird, right? Why did Kelly do that? Like, why would you come in? And that's with me too, right? I was like, damn, I really wish that we could see a successful like girl power Spice Girl alliance. Ooh, if we do an all girl alliance at some point, they should call themselves the Spice Girls.
I would like that,
right? But like, you wanted to be with the guys. It's like, come on, it's very like, I'm not like other girls. I'm a cool girl. I don't wear makeup. Like, it was giving very much that, and that I was just like, Kelly, I'm side eyeing you for that, girl.
I know, and that's as soon as she said town of 50 people, I'm like, damn. And I'm like, but it's crazy. So I'm like, you think you'd want the camaraderie of like the other women, like these, and like you've seen it time and time and again. Just these men will not have your back. You're at the bottom of the poll. Like they will. It's like men and Kelly. You're already other. I'm like, just join the women.
Yeah, like you're there as like a person that they think is easy to beat if it came down to it, right? So they're going to turn on, which, obviously is Big Brother. So at the end of the day, everyone's going to have to turn on everyone. Yeah. I think when you're like a woman in an all-male alliance, they have you there, one, just as a number, and two, because it's like so easy to beat you, they think. And like I fear that for Kelly. But yeah, Mickey, I thought Mickey was beautiful too. I loved her hair. Her hair was so cool. Morgan also. I mean, everybody, the girls are really good looking, like beautiful women. I want to say I'm wearing my cowboy hat for Riley. Riley's so interesting to me because I saw, and I don't know if this was just production was trying to, like, when Mickey was talking about like the guys being attractive, they put the camera on Riley as like, and I think she did make a comment about like maybe being like somewhat attracted to Riley. And I was like, Riley he has that like something about him.
Je ne sais quoi.
He's got a little riz or something. I don't know what it was. It was like that scene he took off his hat and he like rubbed his hair back. I was like, it's not for me, but I could see how the girlies could be like, okay.
He's tall. I'll give him that. And he's a bull rider, which means that he is great hand-eye coordination. Love it. I just think that his face is very much so giving very like Anya Taylor-Joy, like wide set eyes, narrow face. He's very almost like Tim Burton-esque looking. He's intriguing to look at. If I was like a model, like if I was casting for modeling, I'd be like, oh, you are interesting. I'm fucking you up.
That's it. He has a high fashion look. He has a high fashion look.
He has a high fashion look. I feel like Zay, R.I.P. Zay, like he was like almost the other side of the spectrum, like so traditionally good looking. It unnerved me. I was like, whoa. I was like, it's almost like you told an AI to make up what you think Abercrombie would look like as a man, and that's the guy.
That's her. ChatGPT was like, here you go, Sonny. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, no, he was like pretty. Like Zay was so pretty. I was like, oh, you're not lasting long at all in this game, baby. You are beauty and brains. Like, no, goodbye.
I would not. You couldn't pry out of me that I knew multiple languages and I was a competitive chess player. If I'm on Big Brother, bro, what are you doing? I'd be like, this is my first time out of the house. I don't even know grammar.
I can't even count that well. Like,
Yeah,
especially when you look like that, right? Like you're already
yeah,
physically intimidating, you're a physical threat, and then you're smart. He was not long for the Big Brother world. I want to
no,
talk about Vince and his mustache because when I saw Vince, I said, that is a man that used to work at like a video store. Like one of those old video. I don't know if you've ever been to one of those.
I
So
have,
you're Gen Z, right? Okay.
I
Okay.
am,
Okay. I was like, I don't know if you had ever been to one, but
I
he
have.
looks like a guy that works at like an independently owned video store. And like you go in there, he's always in there, really good vibes, and can always like recommend the best indie film.
He does. He looks like a supervillain with a soft side. I don't know. Have you ever seen Sonic the Hedgehog, the movies?
No, I haven't seen the movie, but I know exactly who you're talking about
Yes.
because I played the game.
He looks like the character Jim Carrey plays. Like,
Oh, right. It's the one guy that you have to beat in the
yeah.
game, right?
He's like the professor or something, or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Actually, I
Yes.
didn't play Sonic, sorry, but I saw the movie and I was like, Jim Carrey? They always have one person every season who looks like Jim Carrey. It was Tucker last season. It's this guy this season. And I honestly, I like Vince. I think he had a really. We'll talk about it more. His HOH was, but I
Yeah.
think that he has the potential to be a very good game player. So
Yeah, I think with Vince though, he just has to get a little bit more of a backbone. Like I can
yeah,
see being one of those two because I think he's already in like two alliances. I'm like he's one of those guys that's like so cool with people that it's
yeah,
like he can spread himself too thin and then find himself in a really uncomfortable situation. And I would like to know if he has the backbone to be able to get himself out of the sticky situation that's going to arise. Like, also, we didn't talk much about like Adrian, Will, Zach. I know we mentioned Catherine.
yeah,
Those are kind of the people Adrian's getting a little bit more now because he's on the block this
right.
week. But I feel like with like Adrian, Will, and Catherine, we just haven't seen that much of them for me to really
Yeah.
have like a solid opinion on them yet. What about you?
Which I totally agree, and I think that's Will now a little bit more that he's being accused by, but we'll get to that. I think that at the beginning, if you're not shown, that's a good sign because that means that you truly you're floating. I feel like we could both kind of agree, like a good strategy going into the Big Brother house that tends to work out pretty well is you float for the first 3 or 4 weeks. Because then if you start floating more than that, people are like, you're a floater, and then you won't win at the end. So first
Right.
3 or 4, coast, and then kick it into high gear. So maybe they have. I think Adrian has a competitor spirit. I saw him like trying to beat up that washing machine. Like he has some aggression. I'm like, he could do it. I feel like the only interaction that I kind of can remember with Catherine is her interaction with Ashley about the shower thing. And I didn't love it. I don't know. As a woman, if I was approaching another woman, I would go in with a more, I don't know what the word is, like, I know that I'm about to give you upsetting information. So I'm not going to, like, almost like, I feel like she's going to rub it in Ashley's face. She's like, well, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm like, that's not how you make an alliance, but like we're an ally. So I don't know. Catherine, jury's still out on Catherine. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Before we close out with this first impression, Jimmy was my favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite now though, because Jimmy kind of completely like I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's trying to have these moments that like he thinks are going to become like memes or whatever. And I'm like, I can tell you rehearsed all of this. So now I'm just kind of like, I think Mickey is kind of inching into being like one of my favorites. I just don't like that. And I know I'm jumping ahead. She told about her power. We'll talk about the powers.
Yeah.
I just wish she would have kept that to herself. But I could see her becoming a favorite of mine. And also maybe Lauren if we see a little more gameplay. What about you?
I think at the moment I have Keanu up there.
Okay.
Because I like the way that he's handled conflict. He's a little needy. He follows everybody around the house, but I'm a clingy girl. I get it. I'm like, hey, what are we up to? So I respect him. I like Mickey a lot. I think that out of everybody, she's the most level-headed, and that gets you the furthest in the game. She isn't going crazy. And I know what you're saying, like when she told about the power, I was also like, maybe don't do that. I think it's going to be a testament of her relationship with Morgan, kind of going forward, like what happens.
Yeah.
She's up there for me. I'd say I like a Long Island girl. I'll throw in Ava just because I think she's funny. So I think those are my top 3 right now.
Absolutely. Ava's a really good sleeper pick because I think when you look at her on the surface, it's like she might make it to jury. They might take her to jury, but you don't look at her as somebody that could be like a strong competitor or like has the mental capacity to win everything. But she could be a really good sleeper pick. So I like that. let's shift and just talk about what has been going on lately. So we get
Yeah.
in first week, we meet everybody. We already talked about that. We get our first competition. We had that competition where they had to
Yeah.
find Alec and then they had to find Julie. That was just to win money and to be able to choose who was going to play the HOH competition. So Zach wins the $10,000, and then Jimmy wins the power to choose the 4 people to compete for the HOH competition. He chooses himself, Vince, Ashley, and Adrian, and they all compete. And then Vince comes out on top. So Vince is the first HOH of the season, and we kind of see what I like to think is a little bit of a chaotic HOH, but you watched a lot more Big Brother than me. So how does Vince's HOH stack up in like the history of HOH?
I feel like the first week is terrible no matter what. Right. I think that it's near impossible to have a good first week as the HOH because like you're not clairvoyant. Like you don't know what the future holds. Like, did you make a good decision? Like maybe if we had a time machine and you went back and you redid it, it would have like changed the trajectory of the game, which it does. It sets the tone for the rest of the game. I will say this. I have sympathy for little mustache Vince. Rarely in like there's always some twists, but rarely do you have somebody like Rachel Riley enter the house. The sequence of events was overwhelming.
Right.
There's a saboteur in the house. I have to interview everybody. I have to figure it out. We try to get somebody out. It wasn't them. You have to now be HOH, knowing that you already pinpointed this one guy and you know it's not him, but yet you just still probably put him on the block because people are like skeeved out by him. Sorry, Zay. And then because of that, Rachel Riley's back in the house. I think that he was kind of set up for failure. Nothing could have saved HOH because I think the house was so anxious with all the change and mystery happening that it was just going to be volatile no matter what.
Yeah.
But as a whole, I think the first week always kind of sucks for the HOH. I would not want to be the HOH the first week. Yeah. Would you? Yeah.
It's not because like, oh, people are going to think I'm a threat if I win. It's because of that reason exactly. You explained that beautifully. There's no right way to do it. Like no matter who you choose, you're going to piss somebody off. Like somebody's going to end up thinking like you're closer to them than you actually are. And like that can be a sticky situation. So yeah, I think if I was competing in Big Brother the first week, I would not try to be the HOH, but I would try to be friends with whoever the HOH is. Obviously, I feel like everybody would try to do that. It's Vince's first HOH, and he nominates Amy, Zay, and Ashley for the block, even though he told Ashley that he wasn't going to do it. We know she's pissed off. Amy is on there. Zay is on there. What were your thoughts with his first like 3 nominations?
I think it kind of showed that he didn't really know what he was doing because like if I had even a little like alliance with somebody at the beginning and we had talked explicitly about it and I'd said that you're safe, even if the whole house was like put them up, like I'm like, oh, this is a character moment for me. I would be like, I would hope that I was a smart enough game player to be like, with Ashley specifically, to be like, I see what you're saying, but I think that we should put up Riley because, you know, he was the other suspect and it would be crazy to leave him off the block. I would have thought of something else. Yeah.
Exactly. Right. I think that's always like, that's my biggest issue with Vince and like how quickly he broke the alliance. Like what that displayed to me or demonstrated to me was just like, he's not someone that you can put all of your trust in. I think the only person that he could probably put, you know, they could probably put all of their trust in him is Kelly because they seem to be like hitting it off a little bit, I think. But even with that, I'm like, I don't know. But I think that's one thing that I don't like about the Big Brother, like the way that people play the game is like, one, either don't form alliances on like the first day or the first week, or if you do form an alliance so quickly, don't turn on your alliance the first chance you get. Like nobody can trust you then.
Some of the best Big Brother alliances, like the Brigade, that's one that always comes to mind, the Cookout, they did not form on the first day. It was like almost a weekend. And they all gathered and they were like, hey, we should probably form an alliance. If you got to know people's personalities, that first day you're going off of like, that's why everybody's so shocked by their alliance members are crying and breaking. Like, you don't even know them. You haven't even seen how they reacted after a week on the block. And I'm like, you have to give it time. But I think it's very human nature to want to go in there and to make like friends, alliances immediately feel that security for the first week because everybody does want to be the first person out. Right. But even the Burger Boys couldn't keep him safe. So
I know. And it's so weird because it's also like, what do you do if someone approaches you on the first day and say, hey, can we form an alliance? You're not going to say no.
I
Like, you don't
know.
want to be the one to say no. So it's almost like you have to at some point. I do like some of the alliances that we have. I like the Burger Boys. I love that
Yeah.
name, by the way. We
The
have the
Burger Boys.
Bomb Squad. We
Yeah.
have the Heavy Hitters, and we have the Triple Threat. And you brought up like one of my favorite alliances of all time, the Cookout. And I do
Yeah.
want to say, like, a little spoiler, someone from the Cookout is going to be on this YouTube channel in a couple of weeks talking
Oh,
about Big Brother with me. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah,
cool.
I definitely want to talk to them about how they think these alliances are shaping up. But I'm so glad you brought that up. So I was able
I
to
love
like
the
plug
Cookout.
that. I'm excited. But yeah, there's some good alliances.
It's really one of the best alliances. It was a near perfect alliance. Like,
Almost.
core group, every single one of them had an external person. That's the method that I feel like strategically my mind works the best. Yeah, it was near perfect. Near perfect. So
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, the alliances are set, and then we see the veto competition. Vince is like gunning for Ashley, and then Ashley pulls off the veto win. And I
yeah,
cannot tell you, I don't care how I feel about a person in the game, even though I like Ashley. I don't care if I hated her. I always like to see the person that everyone is gunning for like pull off a veto win. Like, it very much reminds me of Frankie Grande when he in season 16 when he had to play. Wait, was that a veto comp that he did and he won by himself?
I think it was it a veto or was it an H? I think it was a veto. It was a veto.
Gosh, that's one of the most satisfying like wins
Yeah.
in BB history to me because
I
like
on the season.
his partner totally didn't help him and he still
Yeah.
won. So yeah, I was so happy to see Ashley pull off the veto win and take herself off of the block. And that obviously spells trouble for Vince because now he has to nominate somebody else to go up. And then who does he choose? His girl who volunteered herself as a pawn, which was so dumb.
I have so many thoughts. When like you have a friend and like she's like, I'm gonna go camping, and you're like, oh, that's a terrible idea. You shouldn't go camping. Like notoriously, people who go camping get bug bites. They get lost in the woods. It's an unsafe activity to do alone as a woman. And she's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go camping. And then you get a call at night. This is from personal experience. She's like, you have to come pick me up. I hate this. I hate camping. And you're like, nobody's ever liked it. I'm like, why would you think to do this? So it's like the one rule of Big Brother is like, well, not rule, universal truth is pawns go home. I'm like, yeah. And you never volunteer yourself to be a pawn. And she was like, I'm different. She's got that I'm different vibe about her. And that is going to be her kiss of death. You should be like
having her well now, but you're right. It's going to come back and bite her in the butt big time.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know why she thought to do that. And then she was crying afterwards and I felt bad. And I was like, I don't want to see you cry, girl. So I felt happy when she won the BB Blockbuster. And even that BB Blockbuster, oh my God, talk about a migraine. I was like trying to read the words. They were like, ding, 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 ding.
I'm not even lying to you. I do not even remember what happened. Like I like my human memory. Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember even the rules of the game. That's how much I was like, what?
It was so quick. It was almost like there's a ransom note up on like 3 screens of somebody of a stolen item. And you have to, something like that. And you have to like unscramble the letters and they'll make out a saying that says to do with the stolen item. She made out the word emerald and she took a guess and it was the emerald tiara and she won it. The funniest part about that scene, and I hope that you clocked it as a producer, she's holding the tiara and there's no, they cut her mic, but she goes like, can I keep this? And you see her go, and then she puts it down. Because I feel like if I was supposed to be like, no, put it down, go back inside.
Right. No, I did not clock that. And you know why I didn't clock it? Because it was probably at that moment when I like pulled out my phone or something like that. I'm going to give my all moving forward to Big Brother. Okay. So Kelly takes herself off the block and now it's just down to Amy and Zay, and they are campaigning really quickly to try to get people on their side. Now, let's talk about the little speeches that they gave right before people cast their votes, because I actually think that Zay he brought up such a great, I mean, they both brought up great points, right? But Amy kind of brought up like the obvious, like he's a physical threat, he's whatever. But Zay is like, listen, this girl is in good with Rachel. Rachel, y'all are scared of her in this house. If you let her stay, that's a number for Rachel, and Rachel is going to continue to pick up momentum, and y'all are not going to be able to get her out. If I was in the house, I would have voted to send Amy home based off of Zay's speech. What about you?
I think, you know what? It depends. I feel like I wish we were in the house because then we can really feel what the energy is.
Yeah.
Because I'd be thinking 2 things at this moment. Right now, Rachel is pacified. We're about to pacify her even more. It's only the first week. If we piss her off right now, either she'll be vulnerable and we can take her out, or it's a swing and a miss and now she's angry and she still has a lot. Like, there's still people who want to align with her. Like, I still feel like she would have Morgan. I still feel like she would have like others in the house who'd want to work with her. So I don't know. I also think that Zay, I think he may have been rubbing people the wrong way. The girls specifically, because a couple of the girls said, oh, like when they were thinking about it, they're like, he's never gonna vote with us. Like, he'll always be with the boys. Like maybe he wasn't interacting with the girls. Like maybe they felt like he would never like even want to try to help them or form an alliance. So that's why I think the girls voted him out.
That's a great point to bring up. You're absolutely right. I do remember them saying that. And I mean, honestly, their suspicions are correct. He would have always voted with the Burger Boys. He's a physical threat, right? He's obviously smart. So I'm gonna say they made the right decision to evict Zay.
Yeah. And I think that Amy was like, she was just doing a classic speech. I think she knew at that time, she's like, let's not do anything crazy. She's like, oh, Mom, should I keep me in? I'm like, good job.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's not do anything crazy like Jimmy at the veto ceremony. Just to rewind it really quickly, I cannot believe we actually skipped over this. Jimmy's big moment after the veto ceremony, which this was for me. This was when my opinion on Jimmy changed because I liked him. I was like, he is kind of strategic. He has a really good, I could see him having a really good social game, but he was so rehearsed. And you could tell that he was like, I'm going to have a moment at the veto ceremony. And it just really turned me off. I don't know. Were you thinking the same thing?
I think because unless you're Florence Pugh, I can tell when you're acting.
Yep.
And you don't like that. As a viewer, you're like, you can tell when something is disingenuous and you just want to like make a statement. Maybe the emotion, I don't even think the emotions were true because the full backstory is that he was gunning for Keanu. And then Keanu pulled that Godfather move out when they were outside. And he's like, you would never do this. But if you did do this, it'd be a problem.
I would look you in your eye. Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly couldn't stop. I really did love that because I'm like, honestly, if I was Keanu, I would have done the same thing. I'm like, can you believe that somebody tried to do this? And Jimmy's like, that's crazy. I don't know who would try to do that. Also, Keanu's like a buff guy. I'd be freaked out. If he was around me, I'd be like, I don't know.
Absolutely. He reminds me of the Rock's character from Moana.
He does. Yeah. I think he's my season crush right now. So whenever he does anything, I'm just like, what is Keanu doing? I think he's cute. I think he's goofy. He probably is going to end up getting evicted.
Oh, yeah. No, he's donezo. If he makes it to jury, like, I would be shocked. But no, Keanu's donezo. He's too much of a physical threat. Yeah. Unless, I don't know. I was going to say, unless his social game just completely sucks. But even that, like, if your social game sucks, then you're going home anyway because nobody likes you. Yeah.
And the social game definitely doesn't suck because they keep saying the caveat of like, oh, he keeps barging into our conversations, but I like him so much. Like he is likable. Yeah. And I think that, But Jimmy, on the other hand, thought he was going to be likable, turned out to be incredibly unlikable.
And it's like we've gotten 2 like rehearsed speeches from him in like the first 5 episodes. I don't know if I'm ready for all the stunts and shows that he like is ready to pull. It's just it's reading very inauthentic to me, and that sucks because I really thought like going into this that he was going to be like my number 1. I was really we were rooting for you, Jimmy.
We were rooting for Jimmy.
We were all rooting for you.
Jimmy. I also love that one of his classic rehearsed one-liners is, who's ever lying to me as a one-way trip to Block City. And I can't stop saying it is in my head. I'm like, that's a one-way trip to Block City. And I'm like, it's
so I hate it. Like the first time he ate, but then you said it like so many other times, and it's just like, baby, we get it. Okay. And it's like you can't just walk around like threatening people. You're HOH for 1 week, sweetie.
I know. And then
people are not gonna forget that you're walking around threatening people.
I'll say this. People who eat too much, that's gluttony. And nobody likes to see a glutton. He's eating too much. He's becoming gluttonous. And I don't like it. I wish.
Funny. Yes, people who eat too much are gluttonous. Girl, I'm going to be using that. That was, you ate. Listen, you ate with that.
And I'll stop and I won't do any more because I don't want to, because you don't want to overdo it. I definitely think that I'm going to get the Zodiac sign right now. I don't think he's a Leo.
No.
I think either he's an Aries, a Capricorn, or a Cancer. I know that's 3 out of 12, so I have pretty good odds. But okay, I'll pick a specific one. I think he's a I think he's a Capricorn.
Okay, we'll do a
We'll do it.
separate video where we'll
Yeah.
go through everybody and have you guess their zodiac signs because I felt like I said I don't know a whole bunch about it, but I feel like people will find that really interesting, and I would love for you to do that. So you already mentioned so Jimmy is our new HOH, but I do want to talk about like the powers that they got from that challenge that they did, the HOH challenge, where there were like 3 other powers at play plus the HOH. So we know now Jimmy is the HOH, but Keanu won a power, Kelly won a power, and so did Mickey. So Keanu's power, I'm going to read it. I wrote it down like a good little girl. Nice. So Keanu's power is that if he's ever on the block, he will play for a veto, but he'll also have a mystery past player also competing for the veto. So if Keanu wins, he gets the veto. And if the mystery player wins, Keanu also gets the veto. So he has 2 people essentially playing for veto with him. And I think that's a really interesting power to have, but he has to all of these powers you have to use them before jury. Yes. Yeah, who do you think, do you have any idea of like who they would have play for him as a mystery pass player?
Once again, I think this is the producer in us that comes out. I'm like, okay, who probably has an ongoing contract with CBS right now? Like maybe people who do the challenge, who are kind of like, because I'm not sure what their contract looks like. I'm like, could be Cody. I know Derek just came off of Traders, so I feel like it's somebody who's probably still actively doing things on TV. So that's where my list is kind of going. I think it's going to be Cody.
Okay, I could actually see that because Cody was on season 1 of the Traders. I don't know if I see it being Derek, but yeah, I don't see it being Derek, but I don't know. I'm drawing a blank on like who else is like very active right now. I don't know. This is just me dreaming. Okay. And I don't care what the fandom says. I love Frankie Grande. Frankie made an appearance on like whatever that crazy season was of Big Brother, like one of the recent seasons.
The Jumble season. Yeah. When they're going to the metaverse of Big Brother.
Exactly. Yeah. He was on that one. So I was like, maybe, and he won a comp all by himself.
The thing, he just released music. I feel like he's doing other stuff. That's my thing. I don't know, but maybe he's going on. If he does a little like self promo, it could be him.
That's my like delusional hope.
I hope that he comes on this season because I do love Frankie Grande a lot. I hope he brings Ariana. My hope is always that Ariana comes on with him
all the time. Yes,
it's fine if she doesn't. She's very, very busy. Her and Cynthia, they're like probably like rehearsing for all the live performances of like For Good they have to do.
Probably.
But I think last year Tucker was scary good at competitions, but I don't think he was on for long enough that he'd be like a bring back character. You know what I mean?
But you know what? Like I told you, I stopped watching last season because I just wasn't vibing with it. But I will never forget Tucker, and I feel like he's one of the people in like recent BB history that a lot of people remember, even if he wasn't on the show for like a super long time, right? I do remember him. I actually would love to see Tucker in like other, like I would love to see him on the challenge or like the Traders or something like that. Like he was like a good player, even though I didn't like him at times, but I recognize like this guy is great TV and he's a really good BB player. So I guess we'll see at some point if Keanu decides to use this power, who they are going to choose. But let's talk about Kelly's power that she won during this challenge. So Kelly's power, so she got the mystery veto power. This gives her the opportunity to change nominations after the veto meeting. So by using the power, she'll play a solo mystery veto competition. And if she wins, she'll earn a second veto that can be used that week to either save herself or an ally from the block. And if she chose to use the veto to change nominations, then obviously the HOH would have to nominate a replacement. Now, you as a Big Brother super fan, help me understand this because I found myself very confused. Like, if she gets a second veto power, why would she use it on herself? Like if you win a veto and you're on the block, you're going to use the first veto power. Why? Right?
I think they have to use that as a caveat because maybe she is like, maybe you're on with your ally, and either like if I was playing a move, I would. I think it's specific, depending on the circumstance. If me and you were on the block together, and I won the first veto, I would maybe try to garner some like goodwill with you and be like, Jasmine, I'm taking you off first. It could be strategic in that way, and then whenever least expected, I will take myself off the block. But maybe saving your alliance member first could be more of like a show of goodwill. It's a fair point though, because I'm like, Or I think probably more so it's that if me and you were on the block together, and let's say our friend George was also like, he was going to be the replacement nominee. You and George are on the block together.
Okay.
You save yourself because you have to. It's Big Brother. But you know that I'm going to go up on the block. So I tell you, don't worry, save yourself. You're like, okay, I save yourself. I become the replacement nominee. That's why it could happen after the ceremony. So that way I can be like, I'm going to save myself anyway by playing the solo competition. And then I will take myself off the block. I think it's for that purpose more
That
so.
okay, that makes sense now. Thank you so much for explaining that you're
It took
my
me a
big brother
second.
encyclopedia. Listen, it doesn't matter how long the journey takes as long as you get
You
to
get
the
there.
destination. All
We
right.
did.
We did. We got it.
It
And
took a second.
finally, let's talk about Mickey's power. So Mickey wins the HOH interrogation power, which means she can anonymously dethrone the reigning head of household and take over their powers for the week. But the HOH can interrogate everyone in the house to try to find out who dethroned them. After they interrogate everyone, they make an official guess, and if they're right, Mickey would be exposed and no longer the head of household. However, if they are incorrect, Mickey would take over and officially announce herself as the new HOH. I think this can be the most entertaining of the three powers.
Agreed. It definitely is. I feel like this power is like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and the other one are like Velociraptors. Like this one is the major power. And for a minute, I'm like, oh my god, this is foolproof. Like Mickey's, she's lied to Jimmy before. It's very hard to tell when she's lying. She's just kind of like passive. She's like, nah, it wasn't me. And then she'll like walk away. And like, she's a good liar, or she's good at like at least calming people down. I think.
Yeah.
The only problem is that they're starting to put together who has the powers. Yes. So if it's down to 3 people, then it's going to be your story against theirs.
Yeah.
That's when I feel like if she wouldn't have been right next to Zach, and I think that's why they keep playing clips of Zach saying that, I think Zach's going to out her, and I don't think she's going to have a chance to use the power.
I think the way that it's gonna work, unfortunately, right? Yeah. So it'll come down to her word against Zach's, because luckily Zach was the only one that like knew she was right there. So it'll come down between like her word against Zach's. However, she told Morgan exactly what the power is. Right. And if Morgan is not a trustworthy person, let's say Mickey does use her power, and then the HOH, let's say she uses it during this HOH and it's Jimmy, and Jimmy is interrogating everyone, and Morgan wants to gain some goodwill with Jimmy, she's gonna tell Jimmy like, this was Mickey's power. Then he's gonna say, he's gonna guess that it's Mickey. Then Mickey is not gonna be the HOH. Like, she needs to wait to use this until like her and Morgan have like a common enemy who is HOH. That's when she needs to use this power. Like, she should. I hope she holds out and like doesn't use it right away, because she needs to wait and not tell anybody else that she has it. So let Morgan be the only person, but like wait until they have a common enemy who is the HOH, so that they can both feel like they're like, Morgan can feel like she's going to benefit from it too.
And I feel like in a perfect world, if she can get Zach out before you use the power.
Yeah.
Because he's gonna, I think that the problem, I could be wrong, but only time will tell which one of our theories is right. I trust Morgan. I don't think Morgan is gonna betray Mickey. I think that they are aligned. Like, their energies seem very aligned whenever they're with each other. I think Zach is gonna be the problem. And I think that if Mickey, I don't know if she knows that Zach is saying this, but if she does know, if I were her, I'd be like, that's so weird, because like he had something in his hand and like I was just next to him. Like, I would immediately like switch it around and be like, I don't know what he's talking about. Like, that's crazy. But I don't know. It's so weird to think that they're in there right now and there could be a fight going on as we're doing.
And we don't know because we're not watching the live feeds. Do you watch the live feeds at all?
I did it for 1 year and then I became obsessed and I'm like, okay, this is unhealthy. Let me just stick to my show.
I can't watch the live feeds because I'm just coming off of Love Island USA. Love Island USA came on 5 days a week, and I was watching every day. And I'm like, I cannot become consumed with like another group of people right now. I need a break.
It was crazy. We have to talk about Love Island too, because what a letdown of a finale! Like, just a shit show of a season.
You know what? Let's come back. Let's talk about after their Love Island USA reunion. We'll come back and we'll talk about that because
I have so many thoughts.
Gosh, so many thoughts. Okay, so Big Brother that just aired last night, episode 5. On the block this week, we currently have Kelly, Adrian, and Keanu. Okay, out of those those three people, two of them have powers though.
Yes. And
So
both of the veto-based powers. So that's going to be a problem.
it's going to be a problem. How do you see this playing out? Do you have any predictions?
I do think a power is going to be used this week.
Okay.
I think that it depends. It's funny because Keanu's is a pre-veto one and Kelly's is a post-veto one.
Mm-hmm,
so theoretically, both could be played. I think Keanu isn't going to use his veto yet. I think that he's a smart game player and he's like, okay, I think I can win this myself. And I think that I can make Kelly maybe into a bigger threat. I don't know, but he might be a little scared because Jimmy called him out. I don't know. If the pressure gets to Keanu, he's going to use the veto. I don't know. I'd see how it plays out because I think that if he wins it, then Kelly's going to get freaked out and probably use her power too to get herself off the block.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that I also think it was crazy for Jimmy to put them up. He's like, I suspect you both have a power, so I'm going to put you both up. What? You know that they have a power. Be sly about it. Don't say that. Backdoor them. Like maybe they won't be able to use the power if you are. Yeah. If you go right at them. I don't know. I didn't think that was a smart gameplay move, but
that's the thing with Jimmy is like he's playing like he's playing so hard, and I feel like there's no finesse to his game, and I think that was my assumption. Like my first impression of him was that like he was gonna be a good game player because I just assumed he was gonna have a little bit more finesse than he has. But it's like he's going at people so hard, like one-way ticket to Block City. He's given 2 speeches to Keanu where he's like, "I'm gunning for you," and it's just like, dude. Relax a little bit. And then like you just mentioned, putting people on the block, and it's like, for this purpose I'm putting on the block because I think you guys have power. Like that's not finesse. Like you said, backdoor them, put them on the block, make them think that you don't have an inkling that they have a power to make them, you know what I mean? Like there's just so many things that he's doing wrong with his game. But I will say with Keanu, he needs to be smart. He needs to win this veto because while people like him, if he is one of the 2 on the block come eviction night, they are not going to hesitate to block to like get him out of there.
You know what? I totally agree. I think that if it's him and Kelly up there, they're gonna get him out. He needs to be off the block. He has accidentally or purposely started too many waves, or too many aspects of the drama can be led back to him. So he's got to get himself out of this little conundrum that he's put himself in. I also feel like I feel bad for Keanu in a sense because when he came to Jimmy, which started this whole thing, he was pretty much saying like, I know what you're doing, don't do it. You know, it was like a little warning that they were going to be cool afterwards. But then because Jimmy exploded, he has now become the center of attention. Like it shouldn't have been as big as it was, but I think it kind of spiraled.
If Keanu can save himself this week, he has a really good case to get Jimmy out next week. So all he has to do is win the veto this week, or if he doesn't win veto, win the BB Blockbuster, get himself off the block. He has a great case against Jimmy, and I don't think it would be hard to get Jimmy out next week.
I don't think so either. I'm very curious to see how more alliances are going to shake out as time goes on. I think that this is a little non sequitur, but I was just thinking about it, just like one of my thoughts on the season as a whole. Amy and Rachel have this conversation, and like that's what makes Rachel such a good game player. Amy was like, oh my God, like I think she was like, enough of these showmances, like everybody's trying to get into showmances. And Rachel was like in the diary room, and to her, she's like, I'm pro showmance, go showmances. And I'm like, yeah, go showmances. Let these people get into as many showmances as possible. We'll talk more about this too as they actually start to form. But that's just targets. 100%. Like, if I was in there, I'd be like, yes, all love. You two look so cute together. And I'm like, oh my God, are you guys flirting? And I would be like Cupid in that house. I'd be like, everybody pair up. I've seen a little flirtation going on, so I'm like, perhaps that'll be the big issue of the season.
I can see 2 couples forming already. I think Zach and Lauren. And then I also think Vince. Was it Kelly that like Vince was sort of vibing with, or was it Catherine?
I think Vince was kind of vibing with Kelly, and then Riley said that he had a crush on Catherine.
Gotcha. Listen, 3 potential showmances. I don't know. I'm pro showmance. I love a little bit of romance in my competitive gameplay.
I know. I agree. I feel like it's a subplot. There should be a romance subplot to the action novels that I read, as there should be a romance subplot to the reality shows that I watch.
Exactly. Well, I
Yeah.
hope Keanu lasts another week because he is your showmance if you could
He
choose somebody
is.
to
Oh,
couple up with from the
I know.
cast.
I hope when it's all over, he reaches out and we can play Dungeons and Dragons together. But I am a
100%
dungeon.
slide in his DMs, girl.
I should. I should. I don't know. Where is he based out of? I don't think it's even near Long Island.
Listen, long distance relationships, they could work. In
You're
some
right.
worlds, they work. But I don't want to hold you too long. I'm going to let you get out of here. Until next time, we can talk about Big Brother. Where can people follow you if they want to follow you? You're really funny. I think people need to know.
Jasmine, stop it. But if you do want to follow me, you can follow me at Sunny Balkan Comedy on Instagram. I also have a regular profile just at Sunny Balkan, but it's just pictures of me. You don't want to see that. You want to see me being funny. So yeah.
You are beautiful though, so they can follow both pages
Jasmine,
for the
you are
beauty,
beautiful.
follow the other one for the comedy. Thank you so much for joining me, Sunny. We have to do this again because I have loved talking to you about Big Brother.
Me too. It is always a joy being able to chit chat with you. And yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of crazy things happening this season. We're going to have to discuss.
Expect the unexpected, in the words of Julie. Thank you all for tuning in for the Big Brother 27 recap. I will be back next Monday with another special guest to talk about the crazy happenings in the Big Brother house. I hope to see you there. Bye.